I'm going to restore my perspective view, and I'm also going to restore my 3D behaviour by unchecking that box, clicking on OK. All of the tools that we've looked at so far are a fairly free way of setting your eye position and your look at positions and things like the field of view. But you can, if you want, apply precise control over to those positions. And the way that you do that is you use the window view parameters. The dialog is loaded with the currently set views. So for example, we're working in the view perspective, so you can actually load that with any saved views that you've got, and in this particular window that we're working with, the current saved views are just the two plan views and the perspective. You can choose the view style, so you could go for 2D, 3D and print, and you can choose whether it's a perspective or a parallel view. So if you want to set up an axonometric or an isometric, something like that, you can do that as well. You've got the X, Y and Z coordinates of the current eye position, and you can manually edit those, or you can use this pick tool, which we will show in a moment. And likewise, the position that you're looking at, again the X, Y and Z coordinates of that point. The style of perspective, in this case we're using 3-point, which is the more natural style, but some people prefer to use 2 points with architecture because it cancels out the converging verticals, which in certain views, especially when the verticals are very nearly vertical but not quite, can look a little odd. And then the single point perspective, which is used for a certain type of internal perspective view quite commonly. The view angle, what is called the field of view in the tools that we've been working with, is set here as well, and 60 degrees is pretty much the natural field of view for an eye, but you can widen it or narrow it as you choose. So you just need to be aware that you're introducing a certain amount of distortion into the perspective when you do that, and you can actually be conveying an incorrect effect of the design. You don't want to be doing that too drastically, because if you actually use a field of view that makes a space look larger than it really is, you can be conveying the wrong impression to your client. And you can create a new saved view from the values that you enter here if you wish, or from the values that you've already got as a starting point. Now, using the pick tool, you can snap anywhere onto the screen to select a position for the eye, and unfortunately in the view that we've got here, if we want to set up a new external view, the only things we can snap onto are the actual surface, and we don't want the eye at ground level. So I use a trick placing proxy people into the scene, and I've got a layer already set up for that. So if I press F2, let's just make that layer hittable, and you'll see that that loads the scene with a number of proxy people that I've used to establish eye positions. And it's just a simple object that doesn't print, it's a view only layer, it's a screen only layer should I say. Well, we've got a circle that's a target for the base of the proxy, and then a vertical line which gives me an endpoint at the eye level that I can snap to. So if we just quickly go back to our, restore our view, we can use pick, snap on the top of the line there for our eye point, and you can actually see the frustum more clearly from this view. When you're actually using the zoom to rectangle, the frustum it's not entirely clear what the graphics are displaying, but from this particular position, the frustum, you can see the point is actually going to be where the eye point is, and then you can see the fan, the pyramid spreads out from that to a plane which ends at the current target, current look at position. So we start by snapping on the end of our eye position, and then we can do the same for the look at. We can actually change the look at, and let's just snap onto the edge of the wall there. And you can fine tune these by typing. So for example, if you decide that the eye point wants to be a little higher than 1400, so let's make it 1500, you can apply that and then just click on apply, and the view is set up according to those parameters. And this is a case where the 2-point perspective may give us a better result, so you can again go to our view parameters, let's switch that to 2-point and apply that. And if you want to increase the view angle just by a few degrees, let's say 65, or you can type in the value, click on apply, and we've now got a slightly different viewpoint. And you can use your tools here to fine tune that. So if you want to orbit It orbits around the new eye position that you've set there. Or you can adjust the field of view again if you wish, but let's look up and down a little. And if you wanted, not the field of view, so the pan tilt, if you want to adjust the field of view, you can do that. So you can see how we're adjusting the angle. You can see how the difference is quite dramatic. And that is a very incorrect view. It makes the workshop seem to be much further away than it is in real life. If we actually just go look at our view parameters, you'll see that the angle there is something quite horrendously huge. So let's set that back to 65 and apply it to give us a more realistic view, and then just zoom out just a touch. And it's as simple as that. I'll just restore our original perspective view, turn off our proxy people, and finally we're going to look at the most exciting of all the 3D navigation tools, and that's the walk tool, which is this bottom one here. And the walk tool pretty much combines all of the functionality of all of the tools that we've already looked at in this session. So click on walk, and you get these footprints attached to the cursor, which, as you imagine, suggests that we're going to walk through the model. And in its default behaviour, just by pressing the left mouse button, moving the mouse up the screen, you advance into the model, you walk into it. Moving the mouse down, you walk backwards out of the model. And the further you move it, the faster you go. And if you move the mouse to the right, you look towards the right. Move the mouse to the left, you look towards the left. And there are modifiers for this command. So if you hold the shift key down and you move the mouse down, you go lower. And if you move the mouse higher, move the mouse up, you go higher. And there are other options as well. One that's not visible because of we're working with a smaller window here for the demonstrations. You can't see all the options. If you hold the control key down, you actually run through the model, so it accelerates the move through the model. So it's a much faster move. Okay, so we'll restore our view. And what we're going to do is just going to go down to eye level, and we'll start from there. So if we select our walk command, click on the top of the screen, hold the shift key down and just drag the mouse down and drag it down a bit further, and we go down and we're at eye level. But of course we're still looking downwards, it's still maintained the view angle that we had. So we need to use our pan tilt option. Well, to use pan tilt, all we do is we click the mouse thumb wheel, press the control key, and we can now pan tilt without leaving the walkthrough command. I can now advance towards the model using our walk command, and I'm just walking around the outside of the building here till we come adjacent to the doorway here, and then we'll just move through the doorway into the building. And once we're in the building, let's have a quick look around. So again, press the thumb wheel, hold the control key, and we can have a nice look around at the interior of the model. And we'll advance through now, keep on walking. I'm going to walk through into the passageway here, going a bit slow, so press control key, accelerates us. And when we get into the passageway, into the workshop areas, we can just aim at the doorway there, and all we have to do is roll, whoops, a bit too fast, roll the mouse wheel forward, and we're into the workshop area. Carry on walking now, move the mouse up, and there we go. Control key to accelerate us into the corner, and press the right mouse button, control key, and let's just have a look around in here. Okay, see the interior in all its glory. Now at any point you can save the views that you have on screen. So if you just go to your view menu, we can do save view as, and let's call this one workshop 1.